We were talking. We had a lovely conversation about Walter Cronkite that we're not going to recreate. We are going to talk
true.
about.
This is all true.
We are going to talk about the first piece of news today, which is news in the world of Catan. Okay, and this is the designer of Catan, Klaus Teuber, wrote a memoir called "My Journey to Catan."
I made a hilarious Memoir 44 joke, and you have no evidence that there was anything but
there was
any
groaning or biting of the inside of cheeks.
I was really, really hoping that would not have been brought up again, but unfortunately, Chris does not learn from his previous mistakes. So
he does not.
The impression I get
need to know that I'm full of errors.
You are indeed. Is that, it's talking, mostly about the story of Catan, but also I would imagine the story of his life, what led up to him designing this game.
Becoming like a super famous game designer,
Correct.
I guess. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good way to do it. I assume it is not just about the game, like you said.
Yeah,
it's also a very limited thing.
1,000 copies
They're making
for this.
1,000 copies of this English language hardcover edition, which are going to be luxurious, as you can see there. They're going to be numbered and hand-signed by the man himself.
Correct. Now the signature is going to be in German, so I think you may have to translate it. But otherwise, it'll be fine, I think. But
True. Je suis Klaus Teuber.
But I mean, look, if you had somebody that was a huge fan of Catan, or maybe a gift, I don't know. I mean,
I think more than anything, this just is interesting to me. How much a part of the public zeitgeist Catan is.
It absolutely is. That's true.
And it's cool that it is such a big thing, and the fact that the game designer is still alive with us. We can get his story. We don't have
True.
We don't have to, like with Monopoly, with I forget the name of the original designer, not Mary Shelley, but that's all that's popping into my mind now. The original designer of the land.
She wrote Frankenstein, and then she designed Monopoly.
The landowner's game.
The landlord game.
The landlord. We don't have, we can't just say, hey, what's your story?
Right.
But we still can with Catan. I think that part of it is neat.
Also, I'm just going to throw this out there. Dice Tower Book Club, start with this.
There's not enough books.
Weekly meetings.
We'll start with this, and then we'll go on to the Rulebook of 5 Tribes.
Memoir 44.
Memoir 44. All right, here we go.
Mike.
Moving along. This is an interesting idea. So there's a new design studio that is going to come with the kind of mission of kickstarting, it looks like, print and play games. The idea being that, I assume, this is kind of circumventing the whole issue with the shipping crisis right now and leaning into kind of how gaming has changed throughout the pandemic, and more people are playing, online and through Zoom. And so, this has got Matthew Dunstan involved, who we're going to be talking about later here, a pretty well-established designer, as it says, designers of games like Elysium and more, Monumental, another one I like quite a bit, and Rory Muldoon, another designer. And it says that the studio has been founded with a focus on releasing print-and-play games. And it looks like the first one that they're launching with is called Voyages, which you can see here on your screen. A roll-and-write game about adventure and exploration on the open sea. And it says that it is going to be launching on Kickstarter later this year with additional expansion. So I guess the interesting thing to me here is that on a lot of Kickstarter campaigns, what they'll do is they'll, have the main game, and then they'll release premium print and play as a benefit, but it looks like this is going to be the game. I don't know if they're going to be making physical. I don't get that vibe.
Strange. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like the idea of that. I do wonder if then the price point will reflect that in a considerable way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of games that you'll see will have a thing like, hey, $20 for this game, and then $5 if you just want to get the print and play.
Sure.
And I think that's neat. It's
I'm curious to see where it ends up as far as the price, because I think selling a new game they worked on for a long time, I assume, for $5, that's going to be hard to generate some funds there and keep the company going. It is a company focusing on this. They're going to need revenue.
Right.
And I see the chat, several people saying they don't have printers anymore. Fewer people have printers in home.
Sure, I guess that. I guess so. But I don't know.
They're aware of those challenges.
Yeah, and I'm going to assume that they're kind of creating designs that are focused for being only print and play. You know what I mean? And so you need to supply. They're probably not going to have something that's going to require a bunch of tokens. You know what I mean? 3 dice and a pencil.
I'm going to print and play Lisboa when I get home.
Okay. I love everything about that. All right, so interesting idea. Let's move on.
Look at this.
So much patchwork, ladies and gentlemen. So much patchwork. Now,
all of it.
This is a game that, you know, obviously a 2-player polyomino game by Uwe Rosenberg.
I'm sorry, they have a patchwork about pollen now?
That would be Poland, sir.
Oh, Poland.
Yes. Yeah, that's, I believe, German for Poland. But,
I also can't spell pollen.
No, you cannot. Yeah, double L there. But I guess this is what's interesting to me about this is that I would not have considered to be Patchwork the game that spawned dozens of variations, right? You've got Halloween and Christmas and Americana. I love the idea of these heritage ones, right? I think that's kind of cool because, you know, if you are of Polish heritage or if you are of Andean heritage or Scandinavian, I can see that that would be something you might be interested in. But it's just, I don't know, Patchwork, the 2-player abstract game as being the one that spawns all these, I don't quite understand why.
I guess they can make, again, the patterns is obviously the only thing they have to play with, pretty much. The patterns being, you know, tied to that culture, that region of the world. That's a nice thing. I do like that. I can see the shark coming, and I can see them getting ready to jump.
They're strapping on their skis.
They're getting the ramp all set up.
And these are nice. These are 3 very nice-looking games. I assume they're going to be regionally sold as well. That I don't know.
Right.
Like, can I buy Polish Patchwork anywhere, or is it like a Polish release?
I don't, because originally with the Ticket to Ride maps, that's what they were thinking of doing, was kind of making them regional, and then other markets said, we'd like to play Ticket to Ride Europe, we'd like to play Ticket to Ride, you know, Asia, and so. But those
are different games.
Those have real significant rules differences, and these don't. But I don't know. You know, there's people of Polish heritage in many countries.
Go back to Poland and buy it, okay?
Sure.
There you go.
Or to Poland, for that matter. They can go to Poland.
Yeah, they can
go.
One of these needs to be Allegra.
All right, moving on. A new plaid hat game announced that is going to be probably exciting to a lot of people that have played Stuffed Fables, or what's the other one I can't? Oh, Mice and Mystics. So this is from Jerry Hawthorne, who has done a lot of those kind of adventure. I think he started this adventure book line. That I think Stuffed Fables is probably the most popular of those 3. So this is Familiar Tales, cooperative, story-driven, deck-building game where you are wizard familiars raising and protecting a young princess. So it says it has a 79-page location book with branching paths.
Wow.
And it looks like it's already on pre-order right now on Plaid Hat, and it says it should arrive January 2022. And another thing that they're doing a lot at Plaid Hat that looks like they're continuing here is getting voice actors, professional voice, well, people that are going to be doing voice acting. I don't know if they're all professional. It does say professionally narrated, browser-based app. So they did that with Forgotten Waters.
Yes.
This feels closer to Forgotten Waters to me than some of those other games.
Okay. Well, maybe
I feel like
it
that
is.
might be the kind of game that this is, you know,
more
a little closer
in the ilk
to.
of. Which
Story-driven, reading pages that are like kind of like specific encounters as opposed to necessarily a map.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're also doing something similar to Forgotten Waters, where if you pre-order it, you can kind of see this little, looks like a bit holder, a cardboard bit holder. I think that's a bonus if you pre-order through Plaid Hat. They did the same thing with Forgotten Waters. And you're right, those sheets that you can kind of see there at the bottom, those are giving me Forgotten Waters vibes too.
I think that's what they're going with here, yeah. I don't really like this theme myself with the wizards, familiar, and all the silly fantasy things. I don't know how kid friendly this will be, so there is that too. I think they overestimate sometimes.
Okay.
Like I think Mice and Mystics has a lot going on for being a kid's game.
Oh, it has.
It does.
I think it has too much. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I'm at with that. But these games have been doing well. People do seem to like them, so I guess we'll stay tuned for that one.
Yep.
So
Plaid
far,
Hat, $79.99 is the pre-order on this bad boy.
And you can pre-order it right now.
I think they are refining the process better, so that's what makes me interested in this.
Yeah. All right, so next up we've got a slate of games that are coming from AEG. I think most of these were, at media, shown to media people during Gen Con. And so the first one we're going to talk about is a little single faction expansion for a game that I honestly don't particularly enjoy, which is Smash Up. Do you guys like Smash Up?
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I get annoyed with the constant math. But this is
there's a lot of that.
The Knights of the Round Table, which I'm kind of surprised they haven't done this already. This is one of those things where I was like, didn't they already do this? Maybe not. So, single faction.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm not excited by this. It doesn't. Smash Up is supposed to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I guess you do need some.
Well, you got the guy with the coconuts there.
Yeah, this is going to be Monty Python.
They got the guy with the coconuts there, so yeah.
I guess that's what it is.
But it looks like this is going to be, since it's a single faction, it looks like it's going to be kind of only at conventions or from their online store, so not going to retail, it looks like. Another one we've got here is a micro expansion for The Captain is Dead, a game I have not played, called The Problem with Priggles.
Okay,
which is a Tribbles play.
The Problem with Priggles.
It's a mix between a Tribble and a Pringle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was where my mind went was with the Pringles.
That makes me think barbecue.
Mm-hmm. And this is
solve our Priggle problem.
Q4 2021, so any time now it would be my thought there. I think we're already in Q4, aren't we? Next up is probably one that's going to be maybe most exciting for a lot of people, and that is the next Saga expansion for Space Base. The second, I guess the first was Shy Pluto.
The Mysteries of Shy Pluto or something like that. Something of Shy Pluto.
Right.
Yeah, this is the Mysteries of Terra Proxima.
Right. So linked story, adds new material. I don't know that you would say it's legacy per se, but it's kind of playing in that toy box. I know this is something that Tom is very excited about, at least as far as
he loves this
game. He loves Shy Pluto. I'm sure he's very excited about this.
I'm curious because at Dice Tower West 2 years ago, John D. Clare was there playtesting some of this. So I tried out some of his ideas, and when I talked to him, I asked, "Are these things that you just kind of wanted to throw in as a designer, like?" Just very wacky off the wall stuff. And he said, yeah, that's kind of what I was aiming for.
Okay.
So I don't know in 2 years what'll have changed.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I mean, imagine just something that can make your entire ship like all activate or your entire board activate all at once. Like, just ideas that sound like they shouldn't work, but they, I wonder if any of that stuff is kind of
made it through this process.
Yeah.
Did you ask him if he'd consider changing his first name to I Do?
Missed opportunity, Zee.
I
missed
do declare.
Opportunity.
I love it. That's fantastic. I'm sure he's never heard that in his life either.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right. Now, next up, we're going to talk about a couple of games that are not even 2022. So this is one of them here. This is the Guild of Merchant Explorers, and this is in Q3. So this could even be a year from now. So, but this looks like a pretty advanced prototype, if that's the case. And this is coming from a pretty strong design team of Brett J. Gilbert and Matthew Dunstan.
I like their stuff.
I've liked a lot of their stuff. From what I can see here, this could be very interesting, right?
It's a flip and play.
Yeah, flip and play. They've got a personal map board. You're completing areas on your board, establishing new cities. So it looks like this is a heavier in this type of realm, And it doesn't look like you're drawing. It looks like maybe you're flipping and placing.
A flip and place.
Flip and place, flip and build.
Yeah.
That type of a thing.
Slap and place.
Slap and place. Multiple copies of 6 different maps. It's designed that you can play remotely with 1 or more copies. Again, I think that's a thing that designers are starting to push for now, is that Zoom gaming, that type of a thing.
Yeah, it's cool. You gotta adapt, right?
You have to adapt, and you've got to flip and place.
Okay, well,
right.
I'm going to assume that is a prototype based on the color palette. Someone said, "Oh, that color palette." Yes,
I guess
that might be it.
It's hard to see. Also, I mean, we're looking at an extreme above view on a prototype.
Yeah.
I'm not
sure
gonna,
there's some subtlety to it.
I mean,
it's called a flip and gray.
Flip and ochre. All right. Next up, we've got this is also Q3 2022, but they have what looks to be, if not a final cover, at least pretty impressive or not. And this is Wormholes by Peter McPherson, who designed Tiny Towns. Okay.
Yeah.
Pick up and deliver in space, with you being able to create wormholes to find shorter connections between locations, with other being able to pay to use those wormholes. So
I think there are not enough pick up and deliver games.
I agree.
There's not that many. It's definitely an underappreciated style of game.
And I like that mechanism.
You know, for every one of these, there are approximately 8,062 deck building games.
Or worker placement games.
Worker placement,
set collection.
Or then, you know, flip and scribble.
Flip and scribble. Yep. Yeah, that's right.
The problem with scribbles. Wow. So
it's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, a pick-up and deliver game where you can invent shortcuts.
That seems cool.
Sounds really exciting.
That's cool, especially if now people are incentivized to use them and they have to pay you to use them. I mean, that's smart. I mean, you can see that working in just a traditional pick-up and deliver. I think space is just, you know, a novel theme for it, I suppose. There are other pick-up and deliver space games. I mean, you could say Firefly has a pretty big element of pick-up and deliver, and Zaya has that. So, yeah, it works. All right. Now this is now we're out of the AEG. We're into a new game coming from Rio Grande, which looks like they're bringing it over. It looks like PD was doing it, and this is Watch. All right, now this is.
It's a weird cover.
It is a weird cover, but I don't know that I hate it. Because it looks like a guy
looking out of what you would think would be a slit in a door.
Right.
But it's clearly also a watch.
A watch face.
Right. The guy's looking out of a watch. Mm-hmm. He's watching you from within a watch.
Yes.
This is what the Germans would call a double entendre.
Sure. I like this theme, okay? And then they're saying this is going to be, it's set for release in Q1 of 2022, within the next few months. So players are at a Soviet watch factory that used to be a World War II era munitions factory. So a repurposed munitions factory that's now a watch factory. They're there to make gears, but they also need to make the gears to hide the munitions that are being smuggled.
Oh my God, it's like a movie.
So yeah.
It sounds like a great plot for a film.
It does. But
man, where's Benedict Cumberbatch when you need him? Call him up.
So here's the thing. I think it's a cool theme. 45 to 60 minutes, 1 to 4 players, and it's going to have Rondell as the main mechanism.
Another good thing, Rondell.
Nothing about that is unappealing to me.
That cover.
I don't hate the cover.
I hate it.
I don't hate the cover.
That guy,
I think it's anachronistic, but I don't mind
he's staring at that ammunition a little too intently, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He upsets me.
When the idea of clockwork and rondelles goes together really well.
It does.
So I assume there'll be some sort of thematic tie-ins and graphic and stuff.
So similar to the issues I think you had
with Rio Grande games. Never mind, there's no graphic.
Right, there will not be. But similar to like the thing with mind management, I think this has a graphic novel vibe, and I know that's going to be divisive, but I don't hate it. I think I'm open-minded about it. All I have is the cover. If the rest of the game, you know,
it's a cool theme.
It is a
very cool theme.
It is a cool theme.
All right.
Moving on. We've got Asmodee USA is going to be releasing Cosmogenesis into U.S. retail, and this is apparently it's going into retail tomorrow. So. Couple of things. Number one is that the designer has not put out a lot of games.
Okay.
But one of the games that he designed quite a ways back is Expedition Northwest Passage, which is one of my little hidden gem games. I like that game quite a bit. But it's not very well known, and he hasn't created a lot of other games. Not a very prolific designer, but it says you're building up your own planet system.
Where's Roy when you need him?
Right. A lot of space. You're right. A lot of space. Objective-based scoring system, and I tend to like. I tend to like games where you're trying to reach objectives, whether they're private or public, and that's going to be where your scoring gets. I don't think that's done enough. It's not just straight victory points. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Yeah. It's a cool cover. We don't really know very much about this, but that's a cool cover. And we will know more soon because, like you said, it's out.
It's out tomorrow. I haven't seen a copy come through here. We
haven't seen one yet, folks. But we will keep you informed. And we can be certain Roy will put his grubby little paws on this as soon as it shows up.
Let me just put you this way. Cosmogenesis is going to be min-maxed very soon. Very soon. All right, moving on. We've got another expansion for Dune. Now, when you say that, you have to say which Dune, because there are approximately 750 copies of different games based around Dune that have come out in the last few months.
Old Dune.
Old Dune.
Old Dune.
This is new old Dune. The Gale Force 9 re-implementation of the original Dune game.
This is not the retweaked to be shorter Dune.
Correct.
That's new Dune.
Right.
That's new old Dune.
Yeah.
Which one has the pumpkin foam latte in it? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
New Dune is what we're calling that?
That one's new Dune.
Which one is storybook Dune? Which one is detective Dune?
Wow, yeah, that's House Secrets.
Okay. Which one?
Dune House Secrets, Dune Imperium.
Right.
New Dune.
New old
And there's
Dune.
just old Dune, Eon Dune.
You also have Dune the Resistance.
And then there's
Dune
Doom.
Betrayal.
Right. Then there's Doom. Yeah, I can't keep up.
I have to sneeze.
Basically, this is a couple of different house expansions.
I lost it.
Different house expansions. It's going to be releasing in February of 2022.
That's cool. That's cool.
They've already released one of these kind of house expansions, right?
They did.
And then this is the next two, all right? $25 retail, so I do think that they're doing good with that. They're making small box expansions that you can add in, kind of, because it's a, I have not played it, but I assume there's an asymmetrical nature to it, and so these houses
it's like
are
Cosmic
gonna-
Encounter. It's like
Gotcha.
Cosmic
So here you get new factions, basically.
I do like that this version of Dune, their printing, looks very different from all the other ones available
does.
right now.
It does.
There's no
And-
confusion there.
Right, and I actually like the graphic design of this.
I do
I think
too,
they've done a nice job. All right, moving on. We've got Weird City Games of Canvas fame that we just talked about in your game show, the 9th highest ranked by votes there, is going to be releasing their new game Canopy into retail stores. Now, this was a Kickstarter. As a matter of fact, I just received my Kickstarter version of this week.
Oh my.
Of Canopy. And so December 3rd, right around the corner in time for the holidays, you can apparently get a copy of Canopy, which is designed by Tim Eisner. Incredible art by Vincent Dutrait,
Yeah, it's
which
gorgeous.
you say Vincent Dutrait, you can assume it's going to be incredible art. So a lot of beautiful art. It's a from what I've told, I haven't played it yet, a set collection game primarily, maximizing points by creating the ideal balance of flora and fauna. Small-ish game.
Yeah.
Is this in the same size box as Canvas was?
The deluxe edition is in the same size box. The retail edition is a smaller box.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
That is really small. Then, yeah,
so,
because Canvas itself is
a relatively
it's
small
smaller
game.
than that, than
Right.
the standard one.
So retailing for $29.95, plays in a half an hour. 1 to 2 players is the standard, but I do think that there are some variations where you can play at higher player counts.
Oh, I didn't realize this was only this capped off at 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was designed, I think, as basically a 2-player game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. All right.
I like someone in the chat pointed out when is when is Patchwork Arrakis coming out?
Yes.
That would be fantastic. The buttons must flow.
Draft the quilt.
All right, in news that I am completely ignorant to, we've got Blood Bowl returns to the dungeon here. So, Games Workshop has announced a new edition of Dungeon Bowl. Now, were you familiar with Dungeon Bowl?
I've never heard of Dungeon Bowl. They're saying it's a new edition of something that existed.
Yeah,
so,
which was a spin-off game of Blood Bowl that was released in 1989.
Well, I wasn't alive yet.
1989. So, Blood Bowl, a fantasy sports game, right? Miniatures game, kind of based off of American football. Whereas Dungeon Bowl is taking that and adding elements of a dungeon crawl, which I don't understand how you mix football with a dungeon crawl.
Isn't that what the CFL is?
Maybe. That was the XFL.
XFL, you mean?
That was the one, the wrestling guy, yeah, McMahon.
Extreme.
So, I don't know. I know nothing about this. I do know, though, that there are going to be people that are very interested in this because it is Games Workshop.
Yeah.
It's minis. It's dungeon crawl, but with a sports angle. So they haven't announced a release date for this yet, but I'm sure this is going to be, of interest to a lot of folks.
They've been putting out nice productions of their new games and their reprints. I will say that. I think the quality has been on the up and up, and I didn't realize this existed before.
Yeah.
I didn't know either. No.
But I'm sure they're going to do a good job with it. So if you're bringing nostalgia to the table, get on some Dungeon Bowl.
That's it. All right. Our final piece of news for the day, folks, is the second expansion for Tapestry, which is called Tapestry Arts and Architecture. Now, the first expansion was a bit of a smaller box expansion. It added a few things, but it wasn't really too much. It looks like this one's going to be a little bit of a bigger expansion, and this is a co-design between Jamie Stegmaier, the original designer, and Mike Young. Now, from what I understand, and I haven't done a lot of research about this, and if I'm wrong, apologies, but I think that this started as a fan-made thing on BGG, where I believe this person, Mike Young, had come up with these idea of new tracks, and that he then, I don't know how, got in touch with Jamie Stegmaier, or Jamie Stegmaier got in touch with him, but they kind of worked on this together, kind of built on those ideas and created this kind of finished product. Again, if I'm making all of that up and it was in some type of a fever dream,
it was very entertaining.
then I apologize.
But that is something he's done, though. I mean, My Little Scythe is a complete, fan-made kind of design. Rise of Fenris was a fan expansion.
Same exact thing.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. So I believe this is following forth on that. But I am a fan. I know it's a divisive game, but I am a fan of Tapestry. I liked the first expansion. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Because my main thing is, if you're putting the title, if the title of it is partly architecture, those buildings better fit on there correctly.
Oh,
okay.
They're not going to, though. I mean, that's already been established. That's already been established.
Recall.
All right.
Okay. Start from the beginning again. How about that? How about you try again?
I find that to be such a minor issue, but I get that other people don't.
They have to fit on there right, man.
They fit on there right enough.
There's a few buildings that are egregious
no such thing
in the base game.
I guess.
He said the word egregious. He's winning.
Also, I think egregious is hyperbole, but that's okay.
Oh, that's a good word, too.
Minor problem. Minor issue.
But I'm excited about this because it has a 5th track, and that's one of the things I wanted in that first expansion, and I didn't get. And I thought, this is fine. It's just a more stuff expansion, more factions, more powers.
Right.
But, if we're going to start getting more tracks for that game, I think that'll revitalize a lot of my interest, honestly.
Okay. Says it will be available for pre-order starting on the 1st of December. It says they're going to ship in December. Pre-orders will, and then a retail release afterwards. So I'm thinking within the next couple of months.
Done and ready to go.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll. So, all right, well, that is the news, ladies and gentlemen. We've got at least one more fantastic contributor. One more, and then we'll be back to say goodbye to everybody.